Thank you, Presiding Officer. From listening to today's speeches, it's clear that we all agree, no matter the party, that supporting our children in their earliest years enables them to have the best opportunities in learning and development. The upbringing of our children will help shape the people they turn out to be in later life, so the time and effort that we give them in this early stage is immeasurable. Presiding Officer, as has been clearly outlined during this debate, the SNP are committed to ensuring that all of Scotland's children get the best start in life, no matter their background. This flagship policy for supporting children during their early years is a massive expansion in good quality, flexible childcare, a policy which will help lift families out of poverty and reduce inequality. But, Presiding Officer, it would be remiss of me not to concede that the expansion will be difficult. However, it is a challenge that the Scottish Government have pledged to meet. It's not unusual at this point in the life of any major project for people to have different ideas as to the final outcomes and costs. But what is not in doubt is that the Scottish Government has pledged to fully fund this policy. The plan to nearly double early learning and childcare entitlement is Scotland's single most transformative infrastructure project and will make a vital contribution to our priorities to grow our economy, tackle inequality and close the attainment gap. It may not be as structurally challenging as the Queensferry crossing, however, it will be equally as demanding. And as we have heard, it will require substantial levels of investment in infrastructure over the next 3 years, alongside the recruitment of up to 20,000 additional qualified workers. Today's motion quite rightly argues that the Scottish Government should engage closely with local authorities to deliver on this target. As the Audit Scotland report states, the Scottish Government and councils have worked well to expand provision. And it is local authorities themselves who deliver early learning and childcare, whether through their own provision or through partnerships with the private and third sector. So it's vital that the Government and COSLA can continue to work constructively together. Presiding Officer, I wish to mention that this Saturday I am officially opening a partner-provided nursery in my constituency of Rutherglen. Ace Place is an innovative nursery who are committed to supporting our young children. The children in their care spend the majority of their time outdoors, and the particular nursery I'm opening in Burnside has actually been expanded to take into account the increased childcare provision support by the Scottish Government. Alison Harkin, the director of Ace Place, told me every year of a child's life is precious. However, when it comes to their development and the first few years, they are the most important. Our overriding priority is the health and happiness of our children, and if we can achieve this, then we will ensure our children get the best possible start in life. That's why I welcome the ongoing commitment by the Scottish Government and the recognition of the role that private and third sector nurseries have in meeting their ambitions for expansion. And she added, the plans are incredibly ambitious, and if realised, it will be a revolution in early years education and childcare in Scotland. But, Presiding Officer, as an MSP representing a South Lanarkshire constituency, it would be remiss of me not to mention today's events in the council headquarters during the setting of the local authority's budget. I think it's rich that the Tories are trying to portray themselves as the party of families and the party of early childcare. I have here the Tory amendment for the South Lanarkshire Council budget, which was passed in Hamilton today, thankfully without the Tory amendments. Within this, there is cut after cut. The SNP's administration's proposals for holiday lunch cuts in areas of high deprivation, cut from the budget. The SNP administration's proposals for uplifting school clothing grants and automatic enrolment, cut from the budget. And the extension of concessions for under-16s clubs, cut from the budget. From the Tory amendments, it appears they wish to remove these new initiatives, all initiatives which will help the most vulnerable in our society within my constituency and their families, so they can save households a few pounds per year in council tax. The SNP administration in South Lanarkshire shares the concerns of the SNP in Holyrood that our overriding priority should always be that of our children, and certainly not at the expense of the richest in our society. Presiding Officer, in summing up, working towards educational excellence for all and closing the gap in attainment between our young people from the most and least deprived communities is a defining mission of the SNP, and one which I am extremely proud of.
We now move to the